our little resident Australian right
Hello,
now.
friends.
Hello, welcome back, Nina. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Ah,
We've obviously been looking forward to speaking with you again. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're in Australia right now, right?
Literally in Brisbane, in Simon's house.
it's Simon House. Hey, look, I didn't want to talk to you at all.
I
I said,
know. I'm sorry. It's horrible. I'm the worst.
I was like, not Nina. I was looking at the episode. I was like, I didn't even want to talk to you. No,
Well, y'all know
I
I'm gonna
said,
be real. I'll let y'all know what's up.
Oh yeah.
let's get
I
into
mean,
it.
I'll tell you, Nina, just to get started here, I owe you an apology because while Abraham is over here frustrated because you were his winner pick and all that, he can get over it. But I picked you to go out second. And I just
Yeah.
thought playing back to back, it was going to be a struggle because, everyone is so familiar of your gameplay because they just saw it happen. So I want to know, how difficult was it going back to back? Because we don't talk about that enough. It's one of the
Yeah.
hardest things to do. So how difficult was it for you to go back to back?
In all honesty, it wasn't like I didn't feel like it was difficult. I
Oh,
felt like
wow.
I was more excited than anything because I thought to myself, I had a unique situation. I'm devastated, all this stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, yes, I can go now. My brain hasn't switched off yet. I'm still skinny. So let me hurry up and like eat some stuff and be careful with that, But I genuinely never felt any kind of like difficulty other than leaving home again. That was the only thing because now
Mm.
this is back to back. And then I also traveled to Australia a few months before that, and I was there for like a month and a half. So only difficulty was leaving home again, nothing to do with the game or not wanting to go or anything like that.
Now, Nina, you are a unique player on both sides, even if you played in the US and if you played in Australia. You grew up on Survivor, literally watching your mom, watching the players. Did you glean anything off of them coming back after your injury in your original start on Survivor?
Yeah, so something like in regards to playing the first time to the second, I thought about relationships and how Australians form their bonds and how I can improve on that because I actually had a lot of relationships the first time, and I had a relationship with almost every single person on my original Heroes tribe, and then that translated over to the swap. So that was something that I really, really leaned into. And then, of course, my mom, anybody but me, but amplifying that and using honesty. Really, really trying to be like, guys, just so you know, I come to merge. I'm like, Flick, girl, I love you so much. I'm going to tell you why you might hear about Flick, Haley, why you might hear like I did this or I wrote down Sam's name. I want you to know why. So if you choose not to work with me, you're going to know the full truth, nothing but the truth. And you can compare that to anybody else. So if somebody lies to you, you can call them out on it. And I did that with almost every single person, even George at one point. You can see I just did it to Jerry. And I think that's something that I took from my mom is the last thing I want to do is go home thinking I could have had that one truthful conversation with somebody. And that's what stopped me. So there, other than what I said last night, I think I did everything right up until that point. Cause I'm like, there's people who are like, oh my God, I should have had that one more chat. Oh my God, I should have had, I did all the chats constantly going, going, going.
And now,
Now,
early on in the game, unfortunately, you fell victim to kind of a rough edit where we weren't seeing a lot of your pre-merge
yeah.
gameplay, and I'm interested to hear what you thought about that going back and watching it over. But I also want to hear, what was your pre-merge gameplay? Were you kind of
Mhm.
lying low? We saw you form a bond with David that we found out kind of when that merge area
Hmm.
was happening. So what was your
Mhm.
game pre-merge that we didn't get to see because of the edit?
So, fan standpoint, totally get it. Production standpoint, even totally get it. We're heroes. We're winning. There's chats going
Mm-hmm.
on, but nothing is actually going to happen because we're not going to
Yeah.
the
Right. Yeah.
tribal council. So completely get it. Very entertaining. Even me, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know any of this stuff. This is awesome. Now, my standpoint is only I don't go out there for an edit. I go out there to play, to attempt to win all this stuff. So I'm not frustrated in that point. I'm not at all. I only wish you guys could get my point of view even once or twice throughout the season where certain things happened that were instrumental, and people, and of course I'm not like reading or typing anything, but other people ask me, girl, why did you do that? And I'm like, y'all don't know. I swear to God, in
Having to
every single
explain
IV,
it, yeah.
yeah, and every single IV, I went on a full thing of like, this is why, this is why, this is why. And I repeated it sometimes in hopes that it'd be like, let me make sure I say this. But anyways, pre-merge or even pre-swap, got in with Haley, Sean, and Flick at the very beginning. We are returnees and actually in a minority because it's 5 returnees, 7 newbies. We need to be careful. Had a quick chat with Sam, which they show, where he goes, oh, we're just relaxing. We're maybe don't worry. And I'm like, oh my God, did I just make a mistake? Did I come over here, you know, hot and heavy? And he's like, whoa, girl, pump the brakes, which thankfully wasn't actually the case. So here's returnees. I already chatted with every single one of them day one. Then the me tray starts forming. Within that, I would say about day 5, David and I started clicking. I had a chat with him privately, like, hey, you know, I kind of like your vibe. You're a pretty chill guy. You seem open to things, would love to chat with you. One day he comes up to me, like puts his arm around me, says something and walks away, completely nonchalant. And I was like, that's weird. I watched him the entire day. He didn't touch a soul. He only touched his water bottle. And I was like, okay. So I went up to him and I said, hey, quickly, like this morning, you kind of, he's like, yes, I was waiting for you to come. I was hoping you would catch on to that. And I'm like, yes. So I got in with David, who was in the meat tray. So here's the meat tray. I already talked to Sam and Sean. They're clicking. Now I can cross-check between them. I then create a secret alliance with Matt, which they never show. And that was my intention as well, to double check David. So if Matt comes to me saying somebody said something, oh, David was supposedly my number one, or David already told me that, we're good. And I know Matt's not lying. Then we have Haley. Haley's connecting with Ben. I'm attempting to connect with Ben. And then Haley's also connecting with Flick. I have a little thing with Flick. She has Paige.
So you had like a web of alliances almost.
Literally with, I mean, and you've probably talked to pretty much everybody. You've talked to everybody, other than like the final 4, maybe. You asked, I think 90% of the heroes I had a relationship with. That is an exclusion for one person. You can make that assumption. And Jerry. Jerry was just a little bit hard to talk to for me personally. Sharni, I even connected with because I had like that common thread of like, hey, you're kind of close with this person that's being problematic. Be careful, which was really, really nice. But I literally had webs where I would have somebody come back to me and they would say something and I'm like, okay, then another person would tell me the same thing. And I'm like, yes, I can trust you guys. Awesome.
Let me go back and you talk about your social game, because there was a point in the game where I said, well, this could derail her. And it was the exchange between you and Rogue. And you handled that masterfully.
It's incredible.
Was that just saying, you know what, I'm here, I understand the game, and everybody's not going to be on the same page?
The first part, completely understand the game.
You lost her.
Here. And no, just that not everybody's going to be on the same page. Just that was a whole different book. But yes, in the sense that that was genuinely my first chat with her. She had said things that you can see people overheard, and I'm like, ooh, this is different. So I'm like, oh God, my turn, right? Not expecting what was said. And I thought to myself, in those milliseconds that I had to respond, I'm in a game. People are going to try and get under your skin. Also, based on what was said to other people, I feel like there's some people who just want reactions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Anyways, bye. Like, I'd rather just do that. And you guys have met me before. I'm not aggressive. I'm not confrontational. So I'm also not going to allow somebody to take me to that point that I'm not even that person. And I genuinely felt, especially like in America, us, you know, like I genuinely felt if I had come in any other way to that conversation, that would have been completely flipped in the sense of, look at Nina being so aggressive. It would have been 50-50, where because of the way I responded, the situation was acknowledged by so many people in such a positive way. They were very happy with how I did it. But imagine if I was like, if I did even a remote this, everybody would have been like, oh my God, look at how aggressive. Like
Yeah,
that would have come across.
It's about 5 US players would have went a different way with that.
Oh, 1,000%. My mom even was like, girl, my
Oh.
grandmother, who is German, born and raised in Germany, does look nothing like me, wrote a whole thing and was like, yeah.
I
And
wish
was
I could
like,
be a
I'm
fly
starting
in
to-
the room.
Yeah. Oh man, you would have loved it.
Now let's take it to tribal council where you were. Now in this season here, we've seen a lot of people get voted out at tribal council. Decisions were changed. If you look back on it, is there anything you would change about your tribal council in the statements that you made?
As in last night?
Yes.
Hindsight, yes, of course I would. But at that moment, no, absolutely not. Because based on everything that I seen, heard, and felt, I was going home. That is my mindset. I am done. So at least I'm going to go out fighting. And maybe if I do this, I can sway somebody, because me being nice day in and day out wasn't working. Fine. Y'all want some fireworks? I'm going to see if I can then flip somebody. So all those chats I'm watching last night, and I'm like, oh my God, if I had only known. But that's what we all say.
Yeah.
We all watch and go, oh my God, if I had only known, where the audience is like, girl, are you serious?
Yeah, we be like, no, don't do it.
And I'm like, dude, I'm over here pitching to Matt. I'm pitching to Jerry. They're kind of swaying. They're entertaining me. You see Matt going to the hammock with Jerry and like entertain me. And I knew that. I knew he was entertaining me. So you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to say that. George kept making comments about an easy, smooth ride. And to him, that actually meant keeping me. To me, that meant getting rid of me. Like that felt like he was talking about getting rid of me. So I thought, I'm going to go out. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to fight. I'm never going to give up. If I had known that that wasn't the case, yeah, I wouldn't have said anything, but I didn't know. I didn't know.
Now, on a super positive note this season, let's just take a second. I know we have a limited time with you, but I want to talk about what you did this season as a whole. You found your first hidden immunity idol, which had to be an incredible, that's every fan's dream. So check that off the bucket list. You won an individual immunity challenge, had that necklace around your neck. Check that off the list. What did this season mean to you as a whole? Just going out there and achieving these things.
It meant more than most people can more than I can even put into words, in the sense that I was on this uphill. I was doing really, really well my first time, to then be like, done by, can't even talk to anyone and debrief, right? So this time it was like this, right? But I'm there. I'm trying. I'm fighting. I'm a part of all these things. I'm doing challenges that I've watched in other seasons. I literally watched Heroes versus Villains again before going out there, and I get to do one of the block challenges from that season. I'm doing the water challenge, and I came second to a lifeguard.
Oh,
and I don't even swim.
We didn't even talk about that.
Honestly, that was almost one of like I honestly feel like that might have been a little bit more of a highlight than actually winning the necklace myself, only because everybody coming back to camp was like, what in
How
the
much
world?
longer could you have gone, do you think?
That genuinely was me choking for the third time. But if I had known, Matt literally came up like 5 seconds after me. If I had known, I would have passed out under the water.
Just take that long. Medic would have got you.
Yeah,
it's fine.
There's literally a lifeguard right next to me. He could save me. If I had known it was a 5-second difference, I would have passed out and I would not have cared. But other than that, so many things I got to check off, so many relationships I've built. Because of that, I get to come over here. I get to, be amongst my people, see how they live, have them take me out, and just have a really, really great time. And that matters to me a little bit more. I know we all go out there to win. I never, ever want to make that sound like I'm not, disappointed. But when I look at all the positives that have come or have happened in the show or outside of the show, they outweigh that. They really do, because I'm like, this is a lifelong thing. That I want the money, that but this is a lifelong thing, so it and relationships really matter to me. They do.
Yeah, much respect to them bringing you back after having you injured out there, because it's one of those things that everybody will never get opportunity to live this adventure, and you've gotten a chance not only to live it, but live it in Australia, which I think is just a cherry on top.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to ask Nina, like I said, I wish we could sit here and talk Survivor all day with you, but we always wrap up the show with, this basic question of would you play again? So it's a little different for you because you've played back to back. So I understand if you need a break, but what is next for you in the Survivor world? Is it playing Survivor AU for a third time? Is it trying out Survivor US? What's next for you?
Screw a break. Call me now. No, no. Seriously, I mean, you get the itch and it's just something you can't scratch. The goal is to outplay my mom. She's played 6. I'm going to play 7. Just tell them, don't watch last night's episode. And I'm sure, no. I'm open to pretty much anything. In all honesty, would I prefer the American version to reach out first over the Australian? Absolutely.
As you should, yes.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something that I've done it twice. And the good thing is I did better than last time. All of that feels really good. Now I'm like, I need a new beast. Like, I need to try and see how I can adapt in the American version because it's going to be more brutal. I'm probably going to cry on TV. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just like, I'm an American who had an opportunity to do such an amazing thing, but I want to do it for my country as well. Like, I want to do it at home and see if I really have, the capability of bringing my game over there, being that this is where I played first.
Yeah, I mean, you're such a unique player of the game of Survivor, representing the U.S. and playing in Australia, and they've embraced you. I mean, all the players we talk to, all the fans we get a chance to talk to, they love the players of Survivor. They are wrapped into the game, and this has been a thrill ride this season. And it's wild because, we get a chance to meet everybody ahead of time and say, these people are really nice, but they're playing the game of Survivor. And it's good to see you out there competing this time versus being hurt and taken out last time. I've had a blast.
Thank you.
It's going to be strange. It's going to be really weird when they eventually do this international season of Survivor and Nina's there, but she's representing Australia as an American. By how much time you go over to Australia, it wouldn't shock me. But Nina, thank you again for coming on. And as always, you have an open invitation on the show. Love speaking with you tonight. And I really do wish it was a winner's exit interview, but just making it to the top 5, doing what you did, but becoming the first Twine to win immunity. You played fabulous this season and you should be proud.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Hey, you have a good day, Nina.
Yep. Have a great day.
Thank you. Y'all too. Bye.